$150. Okay. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Almighty God, you have blessed us with memory, reason, and skill. Help us to use them wisely in the service of our town government. We ask this in thy holy name, amen. Let's salute the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for coming. Anyone in the audience who would like to address us in public forum? I'm sure Harry must have some advice.
Just one page tonight, so that's not bad. I don't know, would you guys like to go first?
No, we're just here for the trash bit.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, I wanted to give a little specificity to the article this morning on sales tax. Do you get the actual raw figures on sales tax or not?
They gave us projection figures? And,
Yeah, no, but the actual ones.
well, we quarterly, we get a,
Okay, well,
Yes.
I don't know whether you've seen the latest one, but it's about 350,000 above where we thought we were going to be at this time. There are 14 towns.
yes.
It's per capita, but that's pretty good over what was projected and what appeared to be a very bad year. So I don't know what you budgeted, what you got last year.
Yes.
So that may be a little bit of a plus. I did want to comment briefly on the property tax cap. At the county level, if they don't reduce any of the mandates, we're out of business right away with Medicaid. The Medicaid increase will eat up the entire 2% of what we can tax for. Now, I know you have mandates here too, and I just think the lobbying effort, I am obviously in favor of a tax cap, but the mandates there have to be caps on the mandates too, or it's going to be impossible to do anything county, town, village. And I think that as far as the town goes, I don't know whether you projected what the number that 2% represents in terms of your tax levy. The county, it's about $500,000 that we can raise, and Medicaid right now is projected to go up 450,000. So that's one of 8 mandated items at the county. So if it passes, and it sounds like it may, if there's any lobbying efforts for the Association of Towns, I know at the county level we're trying to do it too, is to put caps also on the mandates that allows us to govern, and hopefully we'll be able to do that. I did want to comment, there was a huge article in the paper on the tobacco policy for the county. You probably saw it. We only got 5 votes. We've eliminated Clinton Community College, the landfill, the airport, and but we still are 1 vote short of having this policy. From my point of view, it was a rather close call in the sense that I have issues relative to government mandates. However, secondary smoke to me is a no-brainer, and it's not something that I think anybody should have to put up with. So we'll see what happens. We had 2 individuals that were absent from that meeting, so time will tell. The census group met on redistricting, and we decided to wait until we get the actual figures. I think, as I implied to you before, it probably will not affect anybody in the town of Champlain, but in Moores it looks like areas contiguous to either Shazy or Ellenburg are the areas that we're looking at to move, and I don't think it's going to be Shazy. So the problem with the Blackman Road, which maybe you know where that is in Moores, is the fact that over in past years it has actually been it's 50%. I got one side and Sam has the other, and those people deserve not to keep being ping-ponged back and forth between Area 1 and Area 2. So, but we're going to meet again in the fall, but as of right now we decided to wait for the actual figures to come in. I was just talking here about the water school. I see you have 4 people signed up. That's definitely a go for the 20th through the 22nd. The only other issue that I wanted to talk about deals basically with the disaster relief effort and how we've been designated. Unfortunately, as I see it now, there's no individual assistance yet. It's all hazard mitigation and public assistance. And the only thing that we got, and you probably got the same thing, is that if you're doing any of it, and I assume, Alan, there will be some that is done on in Stony Point and Point of Fair and so on, that they're requiring now the most meticulous of documentation for every single thing that you spend. And so, you know, this, I'm sure that you already know all this, but anyway, it's something at the county level that we're having to deal with. And, you know, I still hope that there will be some individual assistance package, if nothing else, zero interest loans, but at this point, that part has not been approved. And relative to that, and maybe you're aware of this, I got some calls from the people on the Great Chazy River at the time of the high water mark, and boulders were going down you know, at 25 miles an hour, and waves were going over any barriers that were put up and so on. So we sent sheriff's patrols there, and the sheriff's patrols, I think, helped, but we're still in a situation where the signs that used to be there saying 5 miles an hour are no longer there. So I have set this up with the county sheriff, and if you guys can generate a letter to the county sheriff, the county will put up the signs for you saying 5 miles an hour coming down. And that I mean, I don't know whether it'll have any effect. A couple of the people who called me said that they were yelling at the people as they were boating up, and the people weren't listening to them at all, and so on. So, but I think that's an aberration in terms of the kind of community response that normally people have up here, which is to help others and so on. So just generating a letter to the county sheriff's office. We'll have a public safety committee meeting. At the meeting, it'll be brought up, and the county will order the signs and work to Alan in terms of where we want to put them and so on. Okay? As always, I am available for questions, but when we're done here, more awaits. So I will be, I don't know whether you have anything else.
Couple quick comments.
Yes.
The 2% tax cap. Our tax rate in this township for our town residents is approximately $2.10.
Yeah.
That only gives me a little over 4 cents to raise my taxes.
Well, it's on the levy, not on the rate, but,
I understand that.
okay.
It's surprising.
But so whatever you rate, I know, it doesn't give you much.
Well, our levy is $500,000-600,000, which is $10,000-12,000.
Yeah, right.
Okay? And if health insurance goes up, it can eat that up in one swoop. Okay? There's no way we can live with a 2% tax cap and maintain the services and budget that we have now.
There is some legislation, I understand, to
Yes.
exempt retirement and health insurance increases that might be part of this deal, but that has not been finalized yet, so.
Another thing, the retirement is up.
No, I know,
Okay?
I know.
The smoking ban.
Yes.
Wondering why they exempt the college and the landfill. Any thoughts on that?
Well, the college is exempt because they have even though we own the property, they run the administration of it. And the same thing is true at the landfill. This was something that was brought up in terms of it being an impediment to I guess you have a predominant number of people who are smokers there. I'm not sure of that one, Larry, but there were 3 exemptions put in. The other one was the Clinton County Fair. Apparently a lot of people at the fair, I was not, I would have put that one aside and said, if I bring my children to the fair, I don't think that I need to have people smoking next to my kids and so on. But again, what we're trying to do is consensus build, and we picked up 2 more votes by exempting the airport, with the rationale there, of course, being that 80% of the people there are Canadian and many of them smoke. They will not be allowed to smoke inside the building either. This will be an outside area. But as far as the landfill goes, I think it was considered a hardship, and they applied for it and got it past the tobacco committee, which I'm not on, but they got that past the committee. So there are 4 exemptions, but again, we're 1 vote short, and I know one of the individuals who will return is in fact a smoker. So I doubt that he will be supporting the ban. So I don't really know where the legislation's going. But anyway, that's the short answer.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate your input and your comments.
Very
Always
good.
do. You're welcome anytime, you know that.
Okay. Very good. Try to hit you every 2 months.
Thank you.
Very good. Okay, thank you. All right.
Hey, Harry.
Gentlemen, good night.
All right, the gentleman, I believe, has something to share with us?
Yeah, I've got 3 items of business. One, I have a petition to establish a speed limit on Creek Road. I have almost 100% of the residents on the road. One individual didn't like the maximum speed in the petition of 35. He would have preferred 45, so he didn't sign.
Okay.
There were 4 people who were not at home, haven't been able to find them, so it's pretty much 100%. I'd like to submit that.
Yes, the highway superintendent will take it. There's a process, Alan probably can tell you.
Yeah.
We need to submit that to the county and state, Alan?
Yeah, I take it, I submit it to the county reviews it, and after that, it goes to the state, and they monitor it from there.
Okay,
We have gotten some of these and some are hard to get.
I understand. And could I get a stamped copy from the meeting tonight of this for my own records?
You want to know, you want a copy of this? Yes, certainly, we can do
Yeah,
that.
with a stamp that it was received.
Yes.
Copy it and just stamp it.
Yeah, we can do that for you, yes.
Okay. I didn't read it. Did you want me to read it?
Does this include both ends of the creek road?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, what I wrote in it was from the 30-mile-per-hour zone at Perry Mills, Hamlet,
Yes,
to the southernmost end of,
okay.
and the people on the south side of the Highway 11 were agreeable to that.
Alan, we've done these before, it took several months.
Yeah, takes about 6 months.
Yeah, that's okay, I
You got to
understand.
start somewhere, but, yeah, it's not a very fast process.
There were a couple of people that requested that I request, and again, it'll probably have to be in writing, that if it were possible in the meantime to put slow children at play on the roads till we get a speed limit
Is there
there.
a specific place?
Yeah, about, say, 200 feet from the Highway 11 north side, going north, and about the same on the south side going south.
Right.
Just so when people turn onto the road, they're aware that it's a residential area now, as I'm sure you folks understand. I live at 399, been there almost 3 years now, and I'm astonished at the traffic and the speed that they travel there. And so kids and pets and people walking and people bicycling and all that, I really think it's a safety problem. I was talking to folks here in the hall. I live next to the old Protestant cemetery. And I came in to ask about getting permission to restand and repair some of the headstones there. And I don't know how a person goes about doing that. I found out in the process that the town may be interested in having someone contract to maintain the cemetery. And I put together a proposal for me to do that. And it's just handwritten, and it's sort of a look it over, and if it's an okay document, we'll go with it. If not, let me know what I need to add to it.
We are looking for somebody, the bids will be open this evening for mowing of the cemetery.
Yeah.
Not of maintaining the stones,
Okay,
okay?
yeah,
That's not included.
okay.
I think, is that what you're interested in repairing and maintaining some of the stones?
I'd like to maintain the whole cemetery. It's right next to my property. And, you know, to be honest with you, and I may be cutting my own throat here, I've been cutting the grass since I moved there about once a week when the town doesn't get to it.
Okay,
So, you know,
I was not aware of that. Okay,
just because it's there and, it, you know, it just looks better. But I'd like to be able to straighten up some of the stones and replace some of the ones that have been knocked over. My background is construction, I've been doing it all my life. I think I could probably handle just about any of that work. But going back to my original intent of coming to ask about it was, whose permission do I have to get to even touch those stones?
Well, I would say our permission, because it's our responsibility to maintain that cemetery.
Okay,
And we have not done a very well job of maintaining the stones. I know one cemetery where a few were repaired by individuals, not us.
yeah,
We just haven't had the manpower. We looked into a couple of years ago to see if there was any state grants or anything for doing this. We didn't find any. We do have a lead now again. I don't know if it'll amount to anything. The old flat stones, so to speak, you know, the real flat ones that tipped over fairly easy.
yeah.
They can, sometimes they drill holes in the bottom part and two holes in the top
Put
part.
dowels.
A metal dowel rod.
Right,
At least it's better than having it broken and separated.
correct.
Some probably need new foundations, you know.
Well, my proposal as scribbled,
Yes.
and it really is scribbled, would include only the cost of materials
Okay,
over and above the cost of mowing and trimming, so,
well, I'll accept that, we will review it. I would encourage you probably to get back to me in the next week or so,
sure.
and we'll give you some thoughts. I'll have the committee go through it. So, I don't
It's
know.
not very well done.
No, that's
and
fine.
I was kind of in a hurry
That's
because
fine.
I was doing the petition for the
Okay.
speed limit sign.
Because we do have a opening bids tonight to do the mowing. We don't know where that's gonna go, if
Yeah.
it's feasible or not, okay?
Well,
I appreciate your interest.
Absolutely.
it's such a nice little cemetery there, and it just,
I walked it here last week one day
yeah.
with one of the potential bidders. It needs work.
It does, and I was surprised at the number of pieces and parts of tombstones that have just been pushed over the bank in the woods.
I did not observe that.
You
You walked
notice
it,
that?
okay, yeah.
Because, you know, once you step through those first line of trees, you're in the river.
Okay,
You gotta be careful
Okay.
there.
yeah.
Anyway, you know,
Any abandoned cemetery, it's our responsibility to take care of,
okay.
state law.
So what would be the, am I taking up too much?
No, absolutely not.
What would be the process for individuals who are interested in maintaining the cemetery to form some kind of an association to where we could take care of it and not, where you guys wouldn't even have to worry about it?
There is
It can
a
be done.
state organization that oversees privately held cemeteries. I'm on the board of the Glenwood Cemetery Association in Champlain,
Oh, okay.
and there are all kinds of guidelines, and it's feasible. I don't know how you go about establishing one, but I know that our organization is exactly what you're talking about. I should be able to get you something that outlines the guidelines in establishing.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anybody else on the street that's actually interested in doing it, but
Right,
if there
just for
are,
your interest, that's all.
yeah, and as long as we don't get a tax bill for that little piece of property.
No, that's not gonna happen.
But if we did that, would you be interested, we had 5.
Yes,
Would you be interested in the 5 of them?
it's a lot of work.
To maintain them, or
Well,
to
if we
do
did,
association?
what Steve is saying about, forming something, the guidelines, which we should have. I mean, it is our responsibility, we're just taking care of them we're just taking care of them.
As the last resort.
Exactly, as the last resort. And to my knowledge, no one's ever stepped forth in the town to show interest that I'm aware of.
Are there 5 in the town of Champlain?
Yes, there are,
Really?
yes.
There's
I'd be interested in getting involved with forming some kind of association of volunteers that were willing to go and put in a couple hours a week or whatever it takes to maintain these cemeteries. It's just, you know,
As far as the stones, I think we could find enough money to pay for the material of the
Absolutely.
stones.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm thinking the foundations would take a couple bags of cement, 2-3 bags of cement, ready mix
well, it
cement.
depends on the size of the stone.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah,
And the rods and
yeah, yeah.
stuff like that. I think that we could do gradually over a period of time, not all at once. We've acknowledged the fact that it needs to be, in the past,
Absolutely.
we've thought about it.
Well, basically what happened, that's how we did that one at Point of Fair. I mean, it resurrected and we just took it and now we're taking care of it. I mean, it was gone by the wayside for years and years
The
and
only thing I
years.
can tell you is we appreciate your interest and your offer.
Okay,
We'll be looking at it.
all right.
Do stop back. I have your phone number here. I don't know if it's here or
I
not.
didn't put the phone number on there, but I will.
Yes, please.
I'm here most days except Thursdays.
I can borrow your-
Yeah. That's okay. And we do need more people in the township that would step forward,
Absolutely.
show an interest in helping, you know. Okay.
Also.
If I don't hear from you, don't come in, I'll give you a buzz.
Yeah, okay, I usually come by here every now and then, and are you here every day?
Except Thursdays, I'm not here, okay?
Okay,
I'm here most days unless I got an appointment somewhere else, but I'm here most days from 9 to 3.
okay.
Longer if I need to be.
And then I have one question, regarding permits for doing like a weekend swap meet type thing. Swap meet, farmer's market.
Well,
Is
I want to direct that question to the gentleman behind you. I don't know if does he need a permit?
Do you need a business permit to do I mean, it will
Like
be.
a peddler's permit you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
I've never done anything like that before.
Even if it were like an all summer thing,
If it's an all-summer thing, generally you have to have zoning board approval.
okay,
If it's going to be, like a flea market,
yeah,
garage sales, things that are, they're here this weekend, but then they're gone, or some people may have 2, 3 during the summer. We don't usually bother with them, but when somebody sets them up where it's a commercial business, in other words, then they have to have zoning board approval.
okay,
So, all depends how often you wanna have it and what you're gonna do.
okay.
If it's a farmer's market, there's no review.
Should I come in and talk to you next,
Yep.
Yeah, if you want.
tomorrow or
Yeah.
whenever?
Mickey's here after 11 in the morning.
Yeah.
He works at 2 villages early on.
Yeah, I've had to come back 2 or 3 times because of the hours.
We thank you for your interest.
Thank you very much and.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
And I need to get, I guess, a way to contact you.
Steve Southwick?
Steve? Yep. Just trying to get back in my copy there. If you have any kind of information.
I do.
Something like this were to take off, if there was a feasibility, would the town be willing to, like, run an ad in the paper saying that there's group being formed and, you know, and that type of thing?
We need to sit down and talk about it.
Okay,
Okay, that's what I can tell you, you know.
We might even be able to encourage someone to write a story about something like that.
Yeah.
It's more of an article than an advertisement for it.
okay, great. Oh, one question for you. One of the ladies on the south side of 11 was worried that if we get a speed limit sign, we have to have a stripe down the road. Is that true according to?
Yeah, it can be done. If it really comes down to it, I can put a stripe down the road.
If we don't have to have it, for some reason,
I don't know that.
she didn't want to have her rural road striped. But she wanted the speed limit. Thanks again, folks.
I thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good night.
We need to open the bids for trash removal. We only have the one?
We only have one bid.
One. I'll have to read it all over. I don't know.
wanted to close that a little bit, Jim?
No,
It's
it's okay,
fine,
yeah.
okay, 35.
It's from Adirondack Trash Service.
Oh, starting at.
Please find below Adirondack Trash Service bid for trash removal at the town of Champlain, building 729 Route 9. 3 95-gallon carts supply picked up once a week, $60 a month.
Was the only bidder?
Only bidder.
Amazing.
Now, do you guys, what happens if stuff is not all in the bags?
We'll dump it, not even a problem.
Because, you know, a lot of stuff, we'll get a dump truck sometimes and the guy, you know, especially in the winter time, you know, if he's got a bag of peanuts and whatever, you know, everything goes and we
Yep.
don't bother bagging it, it all goes in the trash.
Yep, that's fine. We'll pick it up first thing in the morning when we're empty. We can, if it's full and heavy, we can't dump it. We'll pull it right up in and dump it. Not even an issue.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
What are we currently paying?
Right now, I think it's 100.
Over 100.
Is that 174.30?
Yep.
They're killing you. They're absolutely killing you.
You know why we're up to bid?
Oh, there's no doubt. That's disgusting, actually.
Okay.
$100. Crazy.
Why it's been saying that.
It's the will of the board whichever direction you wanna go. Is this a price for, I hope it's just not 3 months or 6 months or something?
No, I mean, we're a local business. We're not feeding Vermont. We're not feeding
Okay.
stock people down in New York City. We're feeding my family, so it's good. I wish I had somebody on the town board here who knew our service, but we don't miss days. We don't miss anything. Your trash will be picked up. Your bill won't go up.
What do you normally charge for like a household? I mean,
$30 a month.
okay.
And my son went back and looked at your trash. He pulled the bag out, and it was so light. He said that he could hit you upside the head with it, and not even knock you, not even hurt you.
That's that time. You don't know what next time there, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you that if you're being charged over $100 for those 3 cans out there, they're getting you.
But, go ahead, Al.
Now and then they get tables here or computers and stuff. We got extra cardboard and stuff. Does that include extra?
If it's an ongoing thing and there's extra,
Maybe it'll happen maybe once a month.
we keep track of it weekly on a monthly basis, how much you have. So if we go there one time and you have 2 cans, we go there the next time you have 4 cans, it's a wash. We wouldn't charge you anything extra.
You average 3 a week, do you?
No. 2, like this week, I think there's only gonna be 2. I mean, there was nothing special here this week, but sometimes you get an activity here and you get
Sure.
2-3 extra bags, or they'll buy a computer or something, you get a couple extra boxes.
Yeah.
They'll clean out a filing cabinet, you get extra paper.
We're real sure what was here. We checked it every day for a week. We know what's here.
Okay. I got no problem with that.
I'll make a motion that we
Absolutely.
set the bid. I mean, if nobody else bid
Alan,
on it, it's
you got
not
it?
our fault.
No, I'm fine with it.
You fine with it?
Yep.
Make
Yeah, I
the
do have a
motion,
motion.
second it, and
I'll second that motion.
then discussion, anybody? I mean, everyone knows in here.
Any questions?
What do you think, John?
We have to go with a low bidder anyway, that's the law.
Well,
So if it's the only bidder and he's a low bidder, I feel that we have to go that way.
we gotta go with a low bidder if he qualifies. Yeah, we don't have to necessarily take a low bidder, but if he qualifies, yes, then we do, you know,
Sure.
if we wanna do that. And that's our objective is,
We'll take care of you.
we're,
There will never be an issue again. You know, you guys will put your trash out, you'll pay your bill, and we'll pick your trash up, it'll be gone.
and we pay our bill the second Tuesday of the month. the day
That's
after.
fine, I'm not even worried,
Day after, the second Tuesday of the month.
That's
Tonight,
fine.
we approve the bills, tomorrow they're paid.
That's
Okay?
fine, not even
You
a
do need to
question.
sign vouchers for that. Somebody has to stop in, just sign a voucher to get paid, you know,
Okay,
and we can give you some ahead of time.
sure,
Okay, that's not a problem.
okay.
So I do have a motion, I have a second. Is there any other questions? If not, those in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
Do we need to give notice, Alan, you think, to,
I would think you gotta give them some kind of a notice. Well, how do you do it when somebody drops?
There's no contract involved, I would guess, right? You guys don't have a contract?
not?
That's right.
Not that I know.
As long as there's no contract, they're not billing you a month ahead, you could call them tomorrow.
Well, I'm just thinking that they're gonna bill us for June anyways, I don't know. Start the 1st of July, I don't know. you know.
They'll prorate it, I'm sure. I mean, you know, again, wait till July 1st if that's an issue, but
Do you have his telephone number and everything, Julie, in the video?
Yes.
Okay. We will be in contact with you when we want you to start.
okay,
It might not be this week, but we'll be in contact.
sure, beautiful.
Okay.
Thank
Fair
you.
enough?
Is that all you need of us?
Aye. Unless you got other questions.
I'm good. Thank you very much.
I thank you.
We'll take care. It looks good on our resumes. Take great care. Thank you. Thanks,
Thank
fellas.
Thanks, guys. We open bids for the mowing of the cemeteries, 7:30. We have one bid, I'll mention that it's from Julie's husband. They do mowing of lawns and sidewalk, of lawns and cemeteries and stuff. We checked with audit control to see if it was legal. And since she is not a voting member of this board, they didn't see a problem with that, okay? If he happens to be the low bid. Whoever the low bid is, I only took one person around that requested to see all the cemeteries. Now, the other bids may have seen them all. I really feel the low bid needs to qualify his bid, make sure he knows exactly what we want, so. Enough said.
The only question I have is, how do we factor in what this gentleman would like to do?
Don't know
with-
that. I assume,
You know what I mean? I'd hate to discourage him from what he's trying to do. If he really is interested in that piece of the,
I could see a group in that area taking care of one cemetery, but I don't see that group taking care of 5 cemeteries, so.
I can't
right,
imagine.
right, but
Okay.
I think what I'm saying is, we went out to bid for all 5.
5 plus all,
Shouldn't we consider
including the roads.
his request that he wants to do that one? How do we try to accommodate that? You
I
know?
think he was trying to do the maintenance on the stones more than the regular
Well, he
general.
said he has done some mowing there, are you aware, Ellen? That's-
Yeah, he mows, what he does, he comes off his lawn, he mows the front part, you know. That's been mowed, I've noticed, but as far as the back, all between the stones, I mean,
Okay,
The actual mowing of the,
no. He like mingles his lawn with the front of the cemetery,
He connects them there.
yeah.
Okay,
Look at opening.
yes,
on the bid thing though, even on the last bid, did those people submit an insurance form saying they have compensation on their employees and everything?
I,
They
Did not.
didn't put anything in here.
Well, you can't bid on this stuff unless you have, give us a certificate of insurance. And if you have anybody but your own self working there, we have to have compensation insurance
Right.
on. Just like the people that are gonna bid this maintenance thing for the take care, we have to have an insurance from them, from an insurance agency, saying they have compensation insurance on their employees.
That was
and
included in
themselves.
the specs,
Yeah.
that was included in the
Well,
specs.
that didn't
But
have-
it, yeah,
that
but
didn't
I
have
don't,
it in there.
yeah, but I didn't think it said that it had to be. I think if the
Accept the
person,
bid.
whoever gets the bid would have to show it.
You
I
have to
mean-
show it with the bid. You cannot bid on town property unless you show me an insurance card of some type.
well, could he bid, and if he was the low bidder, then get insurance?
I don't know how you would handle that, but I'm thinking.
He's
that
gotta have
any
insurance.
bid, anybody that works on town property or for the town, like, I don't care what they're doing here, they have to, if they have employees, they have to show us that they have insurance. Because
Yeah,
that's
but-
that's town property.
On the farm, the guy that comes and draws the manure out there, they gotta bring in the compensation paper before they start.
You know, you can't have anybody work, including all these signs that you're talking about, and even the trash here. He was supposed to submit an insurance form with that bid right there. I assumed there was one there, because you guys just brought the bid out, but I only saw one sheet of paper afterwards.
No, I don't think it said in the notice that it just said proof of insurance, proof of insurance.
Okay, do you have a sheet that shows first proof of insurance on that?
No,
Well,
but,
You
but
can't read the
just,
bid then.
yeah, but just a second. If, a lot of people probably what they're thinking is if they get the bid, then they'll give you the insurance. I mean, if they're not doing the job, I mean, if they're not getting the job, why are they gonna show you the insurance?
You cannot bid to work on town property without the proper insurance.
I I know,
Okay, there is,
Listen, I did this all my life.
Dick, will you read number 4, please? Just read that. There is a cost, he's proposing a cost there, so,
Yeah.
okay, so we need to take that into consideration. We need to go ahead and open the bids on the cemeteries.
But the reason some people bid so much cheaper than other people, because they don't have any insurance, because insurance is the biggest part of the cost of operating.
okay, this is from Rob's Lawn Care. Lawn maintenance for cemeteries, Point of Fair Historical Site, Perry Mills Park, Town Hall, and the Welcome Road signs. He wants 7410.
That didn't include all the cemeteries in there.
Yes, it says 5 cemeteries,
Okay, so go ahead.
Point of Fair Historical Site, Perry's Mills Park, Town Hall, and the Welcome Road signs, 7410.
Who's this from, Julie?
Rob's Lawn Care.
So that's $7,410. Just to make sure.
And this is from Cast Iron Snow Removal and Lawn Care. The bid is for the lawn care of the town office building, including 3 signs on the property, the mowing of the 5 cemeteries in the town, the Perry Mills Park, Point of Fair site, and the town of Champlain road signs. This is to include the mowing, trimming, and weeding of the sites. The price will be $349.99 for the total of all sites, each time mowed, trimmed, and weeded.
$349
$349.99
per time.
per time. This is from Randy LeCount. I don't know if you want me to read all of it or just the amount.
As long as it covers it all.
Okay. Town office building, he's got a total. He's got town office building, the 10 town signs, Perry Mills Park, Point of Fair site, the 5 cemeteries, which he's got each cemetery listed. And then, that's the cemetery. He wants it, weekly is $750. This is Avery's Land and Lawn. Lawn care bid, $12,350 is the seasonal price for the remainder of the mowing season that is left. All invoices will be billed in 5 installments of $24.70 starting July 1st. This price includes all services and materials to be provided, to provide the following services: mowing, trimming to be done, weed whacking.
Again, that was $12,350.
$12,350 for the season,
The remainder of the season,
remainder of the season.
which have already got 1 month went by.
Okay, this is CB Snow and Yard Service. Lawn mowing, trimming, general ground cleanup, blowing grass, clips from walkways, parkways. Town office building, Point of Fair site, Perry Mills Park, 5 cemeteries, the 10 signs. Our entire season rates for lawn services at the above listed sites are $11,160 for the rest of the 2011 lawn care season, July 19th through October 31st. This estimate is based on the cost of fuel, insurance costs, maintenance. And then he wants it in installments too. And that was it.
We're over the board, for sure.
Well, the only thing is, I read the thing over quickly in the paper, but in there to restate that we have to have proof of insurance,
Yes,
and they didn't, nobody submitted proof of insurance. I think we should forget about this because,
The other concern I have is some of them are weekly and some of them for the whole season.
Yeah.
that's it.
How did we word it?
I know, how did we word the article? I only read it once.
I don't recall.
You have the article of the ad, Julie?
it didn't say weekly or, by the season, but you more or less can figure it out.
Some is only the rest
Most
of
of
it.
them guys must carry insurance.
But we have to have their insurance on
right.
record here at the town.
Right, I gotta call them up, tell them bring it in.
It says proof of insurance can be provided on this CB snow yard sale. This one, it doesn't say anything about the insurance here. On this one.
We're not signing a contract with anybody who doesn't have insurance, so.
You know, the thing is, if somebody hires some kid and goes in one of the old cemeteries and cuts his foot off with a lawnmower, and he doesn't have any insurance, it goes to us.
This, Randy LeCount's, proof of insurance will be provided, it says.
Okay.
Castine's proof of insurance will be supplied. And the Rob's Lawn Care, it doesn't say on it. It said, it says on here on his business card, fully insured.
Unless you have a copy of their insurance thing, you can say anything it wants on a business card. And it's the same thing with saying proof of insurance, but if we advertise it as if we insured, it should include an insurance deposition with it to show that we have insurance. It's currently in force.
Well, 3 or 4% they can provide it, so.
That's not the way the bid said. The bid says you gotta supply insurance.
Where do we wanna go with it, guys?
Well, my only concern is that if we do it weekly, we have no idea what it's gonna cost us. Because you can, or something, like one of them says per time, it could be, I know what it's like to mow lawns. If you, sometimes you don't mow them every 5 days, then you're just chasing your tail. My concern is that we've got bids coming in different ways, that we've got them coming in weekly, we've got them coming in by the time they're done, and we have no idea what it's actually gonna cost us. The other concern I have is, what dollar amount are we playing with out of the budget? I mean, where do we come up with what we can spend and still cover, how do we determine what we have to spend on this? How do we determine that? Or are we just saying we're gonna do it and that's it?
It comes out of the highway budget, if I'm correct, Alan?
Yep. One way or another, it comes out, you pay these guys a weekly salary, like 2 weeks ago, I sent 2 men mow, it took them almost 2 days,
Right, but you're paying them no matter what.
you know?
You're adding this on top of their salary. You're paying them every week no matter what they do. You're taking this out of the highway, but you're paying their salary still. That salary doesn't go away just because they're
When
not
you're
mowing
doing
lawns.
that, it's shorting me in the road.
I just don't know how we decided all of a sudden if we're gonna contract this out. It should have been part of the budget process, not all of a sudden saying that we're gonna start contracting out our mowing. Where's the money coming from? That's what I don't understand.
Well, it's gotta come out of the highway budget, and if Alan spends it here, he can't spend it somewhere else. Right. He has to live within his budget. That's all I can say there. Our budget's gonna be tight anyways, but.
Cause what I'm gonna be faced with, I'm gonna be faced with buying a lawnmower.
I understand the premise, I just don't know how we came to that at this point
Yeah.
in the year where we're saying, and now we're gonna
It
contract
got
it
to the
out.
point where the lawn needed to be mowed and I needed a man on the road to help me.
Okay.
I think
The
that's,
lawns are getting neglected, the cemeteries are getting neglected,
Right.
and by doing that, you're trying to put 2 weeks of mowing into
Yeah.
one, and you're gonna mess.
Oh, I
People
know.
complain that
That-
the cemeteries are not being mowed right, the weeds are higher than the stones, and, you know, it's like that every year.
Right, and that's what I'm saying about how these are bid. I mean, in order to do it right,
It should be mowed once a week.
yeah, at least, some,
Yeah,
you know.
maybe in August, if it dries up, they don't need to.
That's right, sometimes it dries up in the course of the summer, the cemeteries,
It's, I know what it's like to
It's a
bid on this
gamble
thing,
you
it's
that
a
you're playing
crapshoot,
with.
it's a crapshoot.
yeah.
Because it all depends on how much it rains, it all depends on how long the season lasts until the first frost.
Like, so far, Alan, how many times, any idea?
It's roughly once a week,
It is that often?
yeah. And then you take one man, he takes him 2 days. If he's gonna do everything, 2.25 days, if you're gonna do the trimming, do it right.
Yeah.
You know, these guys are including taking care of the flowers in front and the trimming and all that. A lot of times the guy goes, he mows today, tomorrow I need him in the road, he doesn't finish mowing, he goes
Right.
back on Friday or Thursday and, you know, at least one of these guys are gonna take a day and they're just gonna go right through. It's gonna be a steady thing, they won't have to worry about it. Lawnmower being broke and chase a belt. Roughly, it's gotta be done once a week, so we either figure it out, you got 14 weeks left.
That's what I'm looking at, 14 weeks till the end of September.
Yep.
Actually, almost had to go through the October.
October, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's,
well, the end of September.
right now, you've got, if he starts the 26th and you go through the end of September, that's,
He brings you to first October.
yeah.
Normally, you got the frost and start slowing down there.
It's a crapshoot, because I don't know which way to, you know, if we want a season, if we want per mowing, or,
If anything, we should stay local, and there's 3
Yeah.
locals.
who's the third local one, Randy and Castines, and who's the
They're
other
not,
one?
the bids are not all in the same, some by the week.
Yeah, that's what,
Some by the week, some by the, you see that they
Robert
should be all,
McCray, well,
should be been all the
Robert
same.
McCray's got
Yeah.
worse.
I really think we gotta decide how we want it bid.
Yep, you gotta
Say,
rewrite your bid.
listen, because you're gonna, you could have one of these guys come back and say, well, they didn't bid the same way I did.
I think we got to throw all those out and start over.
And how long did it take us to,
Couple weeks. We haven't got out of meeting for a month. By then, the season's half.
You can't
Well,
have it like this.
well, let's do a special meeting. Yeah, I just think it's only fair that we throw this back at all parties and say we want it weekly.
Yeah, but how can you do that now? These people are gonna know what they bid, and now everybody's gonna bid lower.
No, no,
I would bid.
Well, they can come in here and
Yeah,
get
but
the
the only thing is
prices.
they don't know,
We don't show them that,
the
they bid.
bids are not, if you resubmit it, we have to put it in, you have to show proof of insurance and the whole 9 yards. And that's gonna change the bids there, 'cause some people, I'm sure some of the people don't have insurance.
Well, if they got a business, I'm sure they gotta have insurance, cause most places, I know where my husband's got a business, and no matter where we go, we have to show proof of insurance, or they won't even let him on the property. For his snow removal and for lawn care. We have full $1 million liability insurance, so.
And when you submit a bid, you're supposed to put your insurance thing.
That isn't the way we do it, because,
Well, I bid trash for 20-something years, and every time you turn in a trash bid, you have a proof of insurance attached to the bid.
well, we don't do it that way, because when you call, we're through all Riverside Insurance, Erie Insurance. I'll call down there and I would say to Linda Misiak, Linda, I need proof of insurance for Town of Champlain, the address. She'll do up the paper, she'll send it. And the day that you start working, then she'll get, but if you don't get the bid, then you're calling her and she's doing this form and everything for nothing. Because if you don't win the bid, then you don't, why do you have to put them on your policy? I mean, I don't know, that's the way we've always did it, we've never had a problem. I'm not sure about these other people. I mean, maybe I shouldn't even be speaking, but,
But as far as the other bid goes, I will qualify that trash bid, that he has insurance. He hasn't got a contract. Take care of that tomorrow. I'm assuming they're in business, they have insurance, but you know what happens when you assume something.
That's right.
When you
Well,
say
somebody gets
insurance,
rid
you
of the
have
job.
to specify what type of insurance you're looking for, whether it be liability or workman's comp.
So it's liability, and if you have any employees, it's workman's comp.
you gotta have both if you have,
Right?
you gotta have both. If you're not a sole proprietorship, you have to have both.
I mean, some will bring you their car insurance, and, you know, hey, I got insurance, so,
Well, no, I agree with what Julie's saying now.
yeah.
They have to stipulate who you're adding to your
Right.
insurance specifically, so that the carrier knows
Yeah.
who you contracted with, in case there is some kind of a claim put against whoever wins the bid by the town.
We didn't specify weekly or,
No.
Just do the math and multiply the weekly bid by the number of weeks you got.
yeah.
Shouldn't be that difficult to,
Well, they did say one of them, the total did say October 30th.
go 20 weeks. You start next week, go to October 31st, it's 20 weeks.
It's 20
I
weeks.
just don't believe that cemeteries, it all depends on the fall, but I don't think we'll do them weekly in September and October.
Tuesday, 1st of October, we got the lawnmowers put away, it's a done deal.
And if you get a
Yeah,
dry
but you might
summer,
do it twice
August,
in October, or maybe twice in September.
August, you get a lot of rain, you need to do them often.
And if
Don't
you do it weekly, there's where you go out ahead.
Yeah,
Exactly, yeah.
Well, you say that, but if the guy's gonna bill you, he's gonna bill you. You're not gonna tell him when to go there. If he bills you for the 14 weeks that you're discussing, you'll pay for the 14 weeks.
Yeah, I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here either, but
do it for 2 weeks, he's ahead.
Right.
does it say weekly or does it say per time? So if it's done in, 5 days, it averages out to be more than once a week.
you think they need to be done more than 7 days?
Boy, I tell
But
you.
we didn't stipulate that, that's what I'm saying.
I guess we,
I agree with what Calvin's saying. It's easy to do the math. If it's weekly, to multiply out 14 weeks, we all agree that the end of September is a realistic time frame to determine the end of it. You don't?
I don't.
Okay.
Because I know down the Point of Fair, if we wouldn't have done it at the end of October, you'd have had a mess down there because you had all the leaves. And you had to mulch the leaves. He mowed it, I know, because I did mine the same day. Did mine the end of October, and the neighbor, Tom Mandeville, went over with his tractor and he mowed it and mulched the leaves. If you wouldn't have did that, you'll never start up in the spring without doing a major cleaning.
You know, we always mow ours in October too.
I always, Mickey, I always mow my lawn through the end of October. Always.
Depends on the season, but in the past few years, it grows. Grass likes cool, wet weather.
And the way the times are changing the last few years, we get an awful long, late fall.
Yeah, but usually in the month of October, you don't go mow it every week.
right.
You mow it every 2 weeks or something, because it doesn't grow as much. It's not like you're doing it every week in October. And
You
then
get a dry
also,
spell in July, I tell you.
yeah, and then if it's dry,
These
then you-
cemeteries, I've seen them,
Well, actually, I was in the one up here on, is it Shaw Cemetery,
yeah.
and that was fairly dry. It's up on the hill there, it was fairly dry last week. You know,
Even right here, you know.
you know, it's a difference.
I mean, these people are in the business, I'm sure they're gonna know if they come whether or not they should be mowing it. You know, I mean, they're not gonna, I don't feel any of them are gonna do it if they don't have to. I mean, if they come and it's dry or not long enough, they're not gonna do it.
It's the board's decision. Need some thought.
Well, I just did quick math here. If you take the 2 bids that are weekly and you multiply them by 14 weeks.
One is approximately-
And 18 weeks, one's, did you do it?
Well, 14 weeks is 4,900
Yes,
roughly,
yeah.
and the other one is much higher, it's $300, $400 higher per week. That's another, well, that's double,
Yeah,
more than double, it's out of,
it's 10, it's over, it's 10 grand.
I listed the bottom 3 are high. Very high. And the last 2 is just for the rest of this season. When do you normally start, about first week of May or something?
Yeah. This year, that's what we started. We had it mowed about 3 times before Memorial Weekend, but then we also had rain.
Yep. A lot of rain too.
I mean, you don't get caught up.
Oh, that's another thing, you know, if it rains for a week, he's not gonna get out there.
I get a guy going on vacation and it says job mowed and goes on for 2 weeks.
If it rains for a week, it's not gonna get mowed that week. Pure and simple. Can't mow wet grass. Well, I need a motion to either approve, or go back to bid, or just allow all of them.
Alan, it's out of your budget, how do you feel?
I like the idea of weekly.
Yeah.
You know? If the guy says he's gonna do it once a week, give it to him. That's the way I've always mowed it, you know, it's always been done here once a week.
Yeah, okay, but, the one here is $7.50 per week, it says. Castines is per time, am I correct? Randy account was per week,
$349.99 for the total sites each time mowed.
that's per time, okay,
And then the account has $7.50 weekly.
weekly. That's pretty high, I think. I think the bottom,
Back to the math again, though, if you take 350 times 18 weeks, which gets you to the end, that's $6,100.
yeah, okay,
You know, we've already determined the $750 a week is well over 10,000 just for
yeah,
14 weeks.
yeah.
So if you calculate it out and compare them, it's pretty easy to determine who's the low bidder, in my opinion. And if Alan is comfortable with weekly,
Yeah,
Then
I go along with
as-
weekly, whoever, you know, if it comes down just to 2, and the guy, we can talk to him and say, hey, I want it done once a week. And from now on in, I don't think twice a week's gonna be,
No.
I'm just saying that there are times when you can do it more than once a week, but then you could do it every 10 days.
yep,
Till August, September, it probably don't need to be done every 7 days.
that's right. You know, beginning of the season in May, beginning of June, like right now, it rains every other day, yeah.
It depends on the season.
Okay,
It depends what you want it to look like.
Yeah.
I know right now, I'm just saying because I'm down there, it's done once a week down at Point of Fair. If it's not done, it's
We're doing it.
noticeable.
At home, we're still doing ours once a week, right now, but I'm
All year, Larry, I'm talking, that's been there for 2 years.
Yeah.
And if it's not done weekly, it all depends, you know, do you want it done, how do you want it to appear? I mow my lawn at home twice a week, that's my choice. It's appearance. What do you want it to look like? You want it to look like half kept up, or do you want it to look kept up? That's all I'm saying. I mean, you're gonna either do something or not. I mean, you want it to look nice, or you don't want it to look nice. You plant flowers, you water them, or you don't water them. You put a road sign up, you got stuff around it, you keep it up, or you don't keep it up. We've got it here,
okay.
okay? I mean, it's all what you want.
So what's your recommendation?
Well, I'm just saying, it's what do you want? You want it done twice a month?
No, I'm asking you, what do you want? You're not saying. You're just saying what should be, you're not saying what you want.
Obviously, Castines is the cheapest per time, and if you don't do it more than once a week, he certainly outbids the one for $7.50 per week. I don't see us doing it more than once a week anytime of the year.
But how do you award the contract? Do you tell him to do it at his discretion, or do you tell him you want it done weekly?
Well, Alan just said he was gonna say he wanted it done weekly.
Weekly.
How about September, October?
Whatever time it is, I mean, if it's gotta be done September, October,
Is that gonna be your call maybe, or?
yeah, I mean, I don't want them down there, you get a frost and, you know darn well, he's not gonna have to go down there every week.
I can remember one year we mowed grass in April, and the following week we got a snowstorm,
Last year,
you know? So, I mean, it depends on the season.
it might be a spell in August, you know, you won't have to go.
Okay. We're spinning our wheels, guys, we need to make a motion. One way or another.
Well, can I discuss this tomorrow with the highway committee?
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
Now, wait a minute, how does that work now? Is that, if we do that, then they make the decision and I don't get to vote on it because I'm not on the highway committee?
It was only two.
Well, I don't know, just a suggestion. I don't know.
No, I've seen this happen before, where we send it out to the highway committee and then the decision's made, and I don't even know anything about it. How does that work? This needs to be made here.
In public.
Okay. Do you have a motion you wanna make, Steve, either way? Who has that motion? If not, I'm gonna just recommend that we drop them all. There's no consensus? I guess, we'll be looking for a lawnmower breaks down, we need a lawnmower, right?
That's right.
What can I tell you? Okay. Okay.
We'll move to table it, so you gotta do something here, you got this bid opening, you got this.
So we have the right to accept or reject all bids.
And it should be, I wanna hear it.
Okay? Just
Should there be a motion to reject, that's what I'm saying, you,
probably right there. Somebody wanna make a motion to reject all bids? We have no other motions? I'll just declare it then. Somebody wants to make a motion? I have no consensus for a motion either way. Okay. Need a motion to approve the minutes of May 10th?
What name was it?
Pardon?
I had it wrong.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of May 10th.
I'll second it.
If I'm correct, Julie, on the front
Yeah,
page,
nice.
it's wrong.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay.
That's why,
It says May 19th on the
Yeah.
agenda, but it's May 10th
Yeah.
meeting, okay? So I need a motion to approve May 10th meeting,
we got it. Steve and,
Stephen,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
yeah,
Any questions?
yeah,
Any questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Town clerk's monthly report. Need a motion to accept, something that the auditors recommended. Julie's done a fine job of getting it to us every month now. Do I need to sign those, Julie, give them back to you or not?
Well, I give them to Jane, Jane keeps record of them, I don't know what she,
Because I see there's a place there for,
yeah,
okay,
I don't know, I
okay,
didn't know what she did with them or not. She's got them all,
okay.
on file.
I'll check on that. I need a motion to approve the month, town clerk's monthly report.
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second that motion.
Any questions? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. I got a letter from the local Teamsters Union. They want, in accordance with the contract requirements, they were given notice that they want to desire to reopen the agreement for negotiations. I do need to take this into executive session. We have scheduled a first negotiation sessions for the 29th of this month, a Wednesday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's strictly for your information only. A letter from New York State Department of Taxation, Real Property Office. State aid voucher in amount of $12,729.88 will be forthcoming to us. This is down somewhat from a year ago. The state reimburses us so much per parcel for our assessor's office. That's strictly for information. A letter from Nightmare. We're getting some money back from them on our insurance in the future. They get back dividends. They don't specify, they will be in 2012. We don't know exactly how much we're getting back yet. You got your JCO monthly reports. We've asked for those, we get them. The next one is your dog control officer's report, several calls. That's a monthly report. This next one is strictly for information only. Department of Personnel, County Department, the Civil Service, is, Mickey, are you aware of this one? It pertains to you?
What is it?
They reclassified your job?
News to me?
News to you?
I'm a garbage collector now?
Yes. As a reminder, the building and code enforcement officer, code enforcement zoning officer, and fire and building inspector, fire code inspector, zoning officer, and zoning officer, fire code inspector have been incorporated into one job. You had them all, you're incorporated in your job description now.
Good to know.
Just for you.
Just for you, Mickey.
You were listed.
Okay. There was a young gentleman that came here a couple times during the winter. I think he was here last, couple months ago, from the college. He was a journalist student. He sent us a letter of thank you for allowing him to come in. He was a very nice, bright boy, student. Just a thank you note. Got a letter from Eric Day pertaining to the governor is seeking federal disaster aid, and I've heard since that the president has okayed it. Just for information only, telling everybody to document any possible damage to their property and the cost to restore your property. There is no actual guarantees of any forthcoming monies. You do need to keep track of everything that you do on your property as far as anything that was caused by the flood. Okay. Time Warner sent us a letter. The franchise fee will be coming to us, it's probably here by now. This letter is May 24th. 5 to 7 business days, we get approximately $2,696 per quarter. It's always nice to get. The Youth Bureau. State aid funding is down slightly. This is for your information only. It's not a big ticket item for our budget, but just be aware that the state is cutting back on the Youth Bureau summer programs. You have your real property office work schedule for June. We're here every Friday for people to come in, discuss any assessment issues, and they're here most Mondays, not always in the office, but they're here in the township. Sometimes they're out and about doing assessments. The next one's an interesting thing. JCO is putting on a property simulation. If somebody wants to act poor for a day, want to volunteer, June 28th at the community college. They're actually going to simulate how somebody has to live below poverty level. That's strictly for information. We got a report from the county health department that we're going to have to, I think Mickey, you know this one, I think I gave you a copy of it. This building needs to have its water sampled monthly.
Yes.
That's something new. We have more than 25 people using the building daily, and we have to, it's going to be, I'm assuming, it's a $25 monthly charge for a water test. That's, I think that's what we would normally pay. Okay, it's something that's new to me. County Health Department is recommending it. The next thing is the Fairbanks Road lighting district. I do have a letter right here. We need to schedule a public hearing on that for next month. Maybe 7:15, if that would be okay with everybody. Do you have the date of the next meeting? Second Tuesday of July is in.
The 12th.
12th. I'd like to have a motion to approve a public hearing on, for the Fairbanks lighting district on the 12th of July at 7:15. Do I have a motion to that?
I'll make a motion that we have a hearing
Okay,
the 12th of July, 7:15.
any second? Thank you, John. Any questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. There's some upcoming classes. I don't know, is this the one you go to, Mickey, in Potsdam every year?
Yeah, it's in October.
October?
That's the
Workshop.
local government, yeah,
Okay,
yeah, I usually go, try to go to that.
That's a good one too.
okay.
It is.
It's just giving us the dates, so
I
we
don't
come
think
back to
there's,
us
I
for
don't think there's
October.
any charge either, is there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
There is?
in the past, I went with the village of Champlain, they picked up the tab, so.
well, that's a good idea.
Hey,
I have no problem with that. But strictly for your information,
And breakfast.
I think it's a $35,
And
fee.
breakfast at Fillion's though.
Oh my God, yeah.
just make sure, by September meeting, Mickey,
Yeah.
remind us to approve it. We've had some concern in the past about cell phone usage, and I contacted town of Plattsburgh, and I have a proposal draft and a cell phone use policy for this township. I would like to have this approved. Basically, it's for emergencies only, no cell phones for regular work hours. If anybody has a problem with this, I need a motion to approve.
I make a motion that we adopt the proposed cellular phone, telephone policy as we all have in our possession.
This will be, as a town policy, go in our policy handbook. Do I have a second to that?
I'll second it.
Thank you, John. Is there any questions on this?
How is it enforced?
Good question. You can't enforce something if you don't have it. We think this is a good instrument to start that. We've observed some, what we think is excessive use of telephones in the building as well as in the vehicles,
Okay.
okay? And we wanna,
Which is against the law.
which is against the law,
Right.
in the vehicles at least,
Right.
okay? Somebody, many companies have cell phone policy use. The county landfill has it up there, I'm sure many people do. Okay. We didn't take a vote on it, did we?
No,
I do have a motion in a second.
yes.
Is there any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Okay. I know of nothing on the committee reports I can think of. Alan, do you have anything on the,
No?
just an update maybe on the roads?
I'm getting the roads ready to pave. I didn't get no contact yet with the county yet when they're gonna start paving. I'm sure they'll be contacting me pretty shortly. I got about close to 2.5 to 2 3/4 miles to do.
Okay, we're looking at usually a late July, August timeframe.
Yeah.
I think it was even later
That's
this one
fine.
year. The county, we use the county's paving machine, so we do it when they can. As far as the roads, washout roads, Alan, we're pretty
That
much,
I'm waiting for FEMA to come. They told me they'll be here in another couple weeks to reassess the roads, to look at it, and then we'll go from there.
so we're basically just keeping the roads clean, clear of
Keep
debris.
them clean and keep them safe.
Okay. Town clerk's report. Julie, I'm sure you have a subject that you want to bring forth to us.
Yeah, a couple
Okay,
things.
go ahead.
First thing, there's a free rabies clinic on Thursday, July 7th at the Ellenburg Depot Fire Station. There's a town clerk meeting June 21st at Skylar Falls, and I'd like to be able to attend it, if I could get approval.
When is that?
It's next week, June 21st.
No problem.
Also, yesterday I went to a town clerk, well, actually it was for decals for the hunt and fishing licenses in Lake Placid. I had a meeting there. I didn't bring it up last month because I wasn't aware of it, but I approached Larry and asked him if I could attend it, and it was mandated, or I wouldn't have been able to sell licenses anymore, so it was either go or don't sell licenses. One other thing, I talked to Larry and Dick and John Cooper. I haven't seen Steve or John Paul, but I got the job as school tax collector, and I would like permission from the board to have you allow me to do it here at the town. I just feel that, I know people are gonna come in, because people come in now to pay their school taxes, and I just feel it would be good if you guys would allow me to do it, because I'd hate to see somebody come in and I wouldn't be allowed to take their taxes from them. They'd have to say, I'm sorry, but you'd have to mail them to me. I'd like to at least be willing, or I'd like for you to let me at least try it for a year, see how it goes. I mean, I won't put my job here aside, I mean, if I can, you know, and I just would like permission to at least.
I spoke to Julie this morning, earlier too, but this morning also. I recommended that we try it for a year, and if there's no complaints, other townships already do this.
Yeah, Leo Oliver and Chazy does it, and I believe the town of Plattsburgh also does it. They go right at the office. Leo, I talked to Leo personally, he said it goes very well, and I think you talked to.
I talked to the supervisor in Chazy, Stop Spiegel, he had no problem with that, his town clerk doing that. I told Julie, it's probably a little more complicated than town taxes, because there's a lot more parcels. Okay, it's 4,700 parcels versus a little over 3,000 parcels for town. The school district includes most of all Moores and a long ways up. I got no problem trying it for a year to see if it works well, and if there's no complaints from the people, and Julie can handle it here. Okay. There is no cost to us now.
No, everything is supplied by the school. The paper, I'll do all my mailing at the school, and, I mean, I'll do the banking and stuff on my own time, like when I take my lunch or whatever. And, as far as the computer, they don't supply me with the computer. It's wherever I am, I just have to log on to the website or their site and do it. So if I'm here or at home or wherever I am, I just log on and I can get to the program. So there's no computer.
And it's the off time of the village tax anyway, it's in the fall. It's in
Yeah,
the spring.
it would start in September. and go
Most school taxes is September, October, November at the latest, I believe.
I apologize, Steve, I haven't talked to you about it, John Paul, but I haven't really seen you, and,
Larry mentioned it tonight.
but I did
Yeah.
ask Larry if he'd talked to you, so.
You know, I prefer having our older people come here where there's a handicap ramp. And we have services here that a person wouldn't have in their home. And in view of all the circumstances, I talked over with Larry, I'd like to make a motion that we allow Joey to collect the school
Yep.
taxes here at the town.
I'll second that motion.
I assume on a one-year trial basis, if that's, okay, and then if it works well, we'll talk about it again next year. I don't know why it wouldn't, but I don't want it open-ended in case it didn't work well. Maybe it won't work well for Julie, I don't know.
Yeah, I know,
Okay.
maybe I'm.
As John
People aren't
said,
hanging on to that job very long.
No.
No, well, I think what it is, I mean, I've spoken to Kathy and Lisa Carden, and I think what it is, like, they both work at school, and they're not allowed to get phone calls or people to go there, and they found it was hard because a lot of people would go to the school, or people would call them, and they weren't allowed to do any of it there. And they'd get home at night and they're hammered with everything to
Right.
do, and
And I will admit, we've had people come here to pay their school taxes, we had to send them home. Okay.
I think it's a good idea.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried.
Thank you.
Hey Larry, can we back up one up to the sewer and water thing?
Oh, yes.
Okay, listen, Steve and I are on the sewer and water committee, you guys are aware of that. We negotiated, and Mickey of course also, and we negotiated again with the village of Champlain. The agreement had been updated in I think 4 years or 5 years or whatever. And we drew up a new agreement. The village has sent it back over to us, they've already signed their half of it. The only catching thing was the backflow preventers. We met with John Canosa with the county health department, and Judy Rice or Ross, whatever her name is, and they informed us on the backflow preventers that it was the village of Champlain's call because we were buying water from them. Now, it's in this agreement, the backflow preventers. I don't foresee us raising enough money to buy them for a while here. It's nevertheless in the agreement, but because the village of Champlain acted in good faith and negotiated with us, and it worked out real well. I mean, we threw it, this thing was twice as thick as it was. You guys, well, Steve was there, and but we did the best we could. And I feel it's only, I think that this board should approve this, even with the backflow preventers in it. We've explained to them, they'll live with us. I talked to Greg, who's the mayor over there, but they just want it in there to say that it's in there. If we ever get the district up, I don't think they're ever really gonna put a lot of pressure on us for that, but it is in the agreement. But on the other hand, they were willing to negotiate, they've signed their half of the agreement, and I'd like to make a motion, we allow Larry to sign our half of the agreement. Now, you guys can discuss this, whatever. Dick, I know you're not up to date on this because you were involved in this, but we, three of us discussed it with the village. I discussed it with Larry a half a dozen times. He seemed to feel that we should have contacted our lawyer on this, but we talked to the health department, and we got a decision from them saying that it was the village's call. No matter what our lawyer says, it's still the village of Champlain's call. So you guys can talk it over, do whatever you want with this thing. I personally would like to make the motion, we approve the water agreement, wastewater agreement and the water agreement with the village of Champlain.
Okay, do I have a second before I ask for discussion?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, is there any discussion?
I mean, I can add some more as well. These backflow preventers, if there's an outage in one of the districts in the town, it prevents any contamination from getting back into the village's system. And that's not anything more than a mandate by the DEC that those things be on there. They are very, very expensive, there's no doubt about that. And I'm not sure how we're gonna figure out how to fund it, but there's no way that we're gonna be able to negotiate a fair agreement with them without that being in there.
The other thing I can say is I hope we can, down the road, I think we applied for a grant, or, to do this and it wasn't approved,
Correct.
okay? Hopefully in the future, we can get some help through state or federal grants to help offset the cost, because the cost is,
I don't know about grants, but you probably get zero interest on loans, but it's gonna be expensive. Between the meters and the backflow preventers and the pits, it all has to be designed by an engineer, submitted to the health department, they have to approve it. So it's not just like going out and digging a hole and, putting a valve in. You're looking $55,000-$60,000 in each one of these pits, and we have 3 of them. Not counting the one on the borderline if we ever do a district there. So there's some significant money involved here.
Now, did they provide us with a system, or do we maintain a system? Or did we take over the water system?
What are you talking now?
Well, with these backflow preventers, when we took over with the water, did we install the piping for the water? Or did we just take over the water that was piping that was there?
These are all our water lines, our districts within the town of Champlain.
Or that built the towns,
Right,
and we put them in?
right.
It becomes a cost of the district. And it's, I know, and but it's insurmountable. I mean, Nikki's not saying this, but I'm sure I'm gonna try to put some words in your mouth here, but there's no way around this in your opinion.
No. It's mandated by the state health department. I mean, we went down and we spent half a day with the Clinton County Health Department just to get an understanding so everybody would understand what was involved. And it's very clear, we're purchasing water from the village of Champlain. It's their system, their water, and it's their call. And if they want us to put in these backflow preventers, it's basically not up for discussion. I mean, we have to come up with a way to do it. I know it's expensive, and it's certainly not gonna be popular. You know, we have instances where there's only 7 or 8 people on one of these districts. So, when you're talking $7,000-8,000 that a person would have to pay, yeah, it's a lot of money. And, you know, I don't see an easy answer.
There is a manual way to do this. I mean, you can shut off the water going out to the district if there is an outage, but then those people don't get any water at all.
Right.
So if there's a leak, the backflow preventer allows the water that is still going out to get to the customer, but it prevents any contamination from coming back into the system. If we shut it off because of a leak somewhere, then all the people in that district don't have any water at all. The system is not contaminated back towards the village, but none of our other customers have.
I mean, the
Water.
village is actively going after having these things put in. I'm associated with the fire department now, and the fire district has to put one in the fire station, and it's expensive. But the potential for cross-contamination from taking a pumper, going out, filling it up from the river, and coming back and having a low-pressure incident where you could contaminate the village water and then pollute it, you know, that's a significant risk. I can understand the village's concern here, but it's the same thing on our side, so. It's just.
We had to put them in the barn. If you don't put them, you can't send milk.
Really?
Okay. I believe I'll ask for a roll call vote, if there's no other discussion. John Cooper,
Aye.
John Powell,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Richard,
Aye.
yes, passes. I need a motion, is there anything else before I pay the bills?
I do.
Oh, yes, okay, yes.
Trustee Dennis Roberts from the village of Rouse's Point was gonna try to be here, but he couldn't, and I'm kinda gonna go over something that he wanted that's very important. I think we all received a letter from the village of Rouse's Point. They're going to be honoring our patriots. It's called the Patriot Flag. There's gonna be a flag in the village of Rouse's Point, and they're gonna be honoring it. It's a 30 by 55 foot flag. It's gonna be on 2 ladder trucks down at the site to be chosen. In fact, that's why Dennis is gonna be here, they're having a meeting. It's a tribute to armed forces, first responders, second responders, 9/11 families, and all the fallen of the attacks on America, and all the public safety personnel on the job today willing to make the supreme sacrifice for others and armed forces of America that are preserving and have in the past secured our freedom. And that's basically what it is. This flag is gonna be going around all the United States, 50 states, or in 50 weeks rather. And it started the 10th of September, 2010 in San Diego. And it's gonna end up back in San Diego on September 2nd, 2011. And on 9/11 or 9/11/11, it's gonna be shown in Pennsylvania, the Pentagon, Manhattan, and Battery Park. This flag is gonna be, Rouse's Point has been one of 4 places in New York State that has the opportunity to be able to pay tribute to this, and they're gonna have a big honoring on the July 1st, Friday night, at 6 p.m. at the fire station. That's where it's gonna be started at. And they're asking for anybody, they're gonna have honor guards from Clinton County, and all the people that went down to New York City. They're gonna be mentioning them. It's gonna be an evening of about, I guess, an hour or so, and it behooves everyone to attend. I myself was the village board, and I would think all of us should try to attend it or whatever. And they asked, I think everyone had a letter
Yes.
sent to us, and definitely gonna attend myself, and I spoke to Larry about it, so I imagine we all should try to. get
Friday
there.
night, 6 o'clock, that's 2 weeks from this Friday, I believe.
Yep, July 1st, yep.
I'll try to be there, I'm almost certain I'll be there. Hopefully everybody can make it, if possible. You have your, anything else? You have your post audit bills, I need a motion to approve the monthly bills.
I make a motion that we pay the monthly bills as listed.
Second.
Any questions on the monthly bills? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I need an executive session for legal matter and contractual, union contract.
I make a motion, we go into executive session for the two matters just mentioned.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Is the town now gonna take care of its own,
Pardon?
is the town now gonna mow its own grass for the rest of the year?
I have no motion to approve,
So it sounds like that's what the result is?
I have no motion to accept bids or reject them. I'm status quo.
So- Yeah, so it sounds like you've decided that the town will continue as it has in the past and mow their own lawns, so,
Okay.
okay.